Hi guys, Henry here. Today I want to talk about one of the silent killers in savings, that is inflation. If you're an expat or just anyone living back home, this affects you. Officially, the CPI figures of inflation is 2%. Realistically though, the way it's measured, and without going into too much of the technicalities of it, it's a lot higher. For example, just look at how much did a bar of chocolate cost you 10 years ago. If CPI was at that same price at 2%, it would be 20% higher. It's a lot higher than that, and plus you're getting less and less for it as well. So it's just a simple example. So the sizes have got a lot less, prices are getting a lot higher. So with the exception of electronic goods such as TVs, mobile phones in some exceptions as well, everything is actually growing more than the Western government targets of 2%. Now this is 2% in, remember, Western places. So developed countries have a target just to maintain their economy at 2%. Emerging markets, so they're going a lot higher. You've got India at around 6%. So if you're getting 7% in your Indian bank account and inflation 6%, what is it in real terms? It's not much better than than what you'd have in US dollars or in a Western bank account with the interest rates. So taking into consideration inflation, you look at house prices over the last 10 years in developed markets such as the UK, they've gone up more than 2% a year. So the real number of inflation is, if you look at it on a basket of goods, which is the RPI figure, it would more be 3 to 4%, even 5% a year. So how does this affect you? Well, if you've got 100,000 in the bank, it's not worth the same 100,000 the next year, and the next year it's not going to buy you the same amount of goods. So what can you do about this? You can put it in an interest account in a bank that these days are giving a whopping 0.25%. You can get some that I think the best I've seen is about 1.5% in a term deposit bank. It's really not too much. If you are a younger investor, look for equities. Use what we've spoken about a lot here, investment for expat, and that is compound interest. Put a bit aside a month. Use that kind of eighth wonder of the world, as Einstein called it, compound interest, to beat the inflation. If you're an older investor, you still have bonds, whatnot, to go out, and a bit more stable. Property as well seems to be to stand the test, depending on obviously location and a bit more factors, but property does seem to have tested the time with inflation as well. So it's just what I wanted to touch on today, is that inflation is the silent killer of your savings. Think about how you can protect that, how you can make sure the money that you've worked hard for can be worth the same amount in 10 years time than it is today. You don't want to be let it erode, become 5% less a year just by letting it in the bank account with your 0.25% interest. So they're the things I want to kind of touch on today. If you want to know more about inflation, how it affects, I've done an article on inflation, the silent killer. I've also done numerous articles on what are the real numbers of CPI, RPI in Western countries as well. So I hope you found that useful, guys. Let me know if you've got any comments. Thanks a lot.